Okay, so just to finish off, Bruna, we often mention what is lost in translation, but in your opinion, is anything ever found in translation?
I think it is always found in translation. I mean, different languages, it's like working with different media or working with a different kind of dough. Each language has its own texture, but also its own possibilities, opportunities, and I take those. Stênio and I have talked a little bit about some of the changes that I've made in the book or that he recognized in the book. One of them that comes to mind is this one phrase where he says que ser homem gay não deveria ser coisa de morte, deveria ser
Being a
coisa
gay
de vida.
man should not
Am
be
I
something
quoting
for
right,
death,
Stênio?
should be for life.
Coisa, the vagueness. The vagueness, it's a thing, a death thing. It shouldn't be a death. Being a gay man shouldn't be a death thing. It should be a life thing. In Portuguese, vagueness is much more tolerated in language than in English, which are like specificity. But it's a death thing and a life thing is just something that people say. It's not marked by any strangeness at all. So I thought a lot about the different things that I could do with that. I thought shouldn't be the stuff of death, it should be the stuff of life. Thought that was an interesting solution, but the should be was stripping me up. I thought it shouldn't be death giving, it should be life giving. That was another one. But then in the end, I landed on it shouldn't be a death sentence, it should be a life sentence. Now, that was me, and I think that was gained because this is a book about language, and in English, sentence means phrase. In Portuguese, it does not colloquially. So I saw the opportunity there to talk about the language around homophobia, the language of discourse, and I added that layer in there. It is a layer that's already in the book, but that wasn't evident in that one passage. So I see so many little opportunities like this. Like I will carry a metaphor a little longer because I can in English, and maybe you couldn't in Portuguese. There's so much that is gained. Those of you who are writers, you know that layering is 80% of our job. That you write something and it might be kind of shallow, and then when you do revision, you add more details, and then when you do revision again, you add more details, so that, say, if it takes me several years to write a book, my best selves over that entire time accumulate so that then I have a great book that I couldn't have written in one sitting, but that all my best selves adding to it made better. It's a little bit like this. I got to add layers, and I got to add my own reading, my own perspective, my own perception. I'm like, I like what the color is doing here, so I highlight that. And maybe Stênio wasn't thinking about that when he wrote it, but I was, because I am looking at it through my eyes. And then I add that in there. I actually think it's really funny when people say lost in translation, because it makes me think they don't understand what translation does. Translation is not about giving you, some food that's perishables that expired in transit. This is not what it's about. It's about you have the ingredients there, and then you made this dish, and I have different ingredients, different material, and I have to try to reproduce that dish. Something about it, but I have different ingredients, right? So maybe for his freshness, he added this really nice herb. Maybe he added some thyme and rosemary. Now I don't have thyme and rosemary, but I have something else. I have chives and mint or whatever, and then I will make something with it. Yeah. So to me, there is nothing lost. I'm recreating an experience. In English is very interesting material. The vocabulary in English is different in very interesting ways. It's more active. It's textured in a different way. It's a lot of fun to play with. I have no concerns about the loss.